When you think of dairy, you probably picture wholesome milk, creamy cheese, and rich yogurt. Foods that seem healthy and natural. But here's the truth. Not all dairy products are created equal. In fact, many popular options lining grocery store shelves are packed with unhealthy fats, hidden sugars, artificial additives, and hormones that could seriously harm your long-term health. From healthy-looking yogurt cups loaded with corn syrup to cheese slices that are more plastic than dairy, these products might be sabotaging your diet without you even realizing it. In today's video, we're exposing 10 dairy products you should avoid at all costs. And don't worry, we'll also share the ones that are actually safe to enjoy, guilt-free. So stick around till the end and don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening food breakdowns, just like this one. Let's dive in. 1. Flavored yogurts like Yoplait Original Strawberry. Let's be honest, yogurt has built a reputation as a health food, something people grab in the morning thinking they're making a smart choice. But here's the shocking truth. Most flavored yogurts are nothing more than cleverly marketed desserts disguised as breakfast. Take Yoplait Original Strawberry, for example. It contains around 26 grams of sugar in a single serving. That's nearly the same amount found in a candy bar. The problem starts with the way these yogurts are made. Manufacturers begin with low-fat or fat-free yogurt, which naturally removes the creamy richness. To make up for the lost flavor, they load it with added sugar, artificial sweeteners, and synthetic fruit flavoring. The strawberry flavor doesn't come from real fruit. It's mostly from artificial ingredients designed to taste fruity without any of the nutrients. And while these companies love to promote the presence of live and active cultures, the benefits are often overshadowed by the high sugar content, which actually feeds the bad bacteria in your gut, not the good ones. So instead of improving digestion or boosting immunity, you're spiking your blood sugar levels and setting yourself up for energy crashes later in the day. Even worse, many flavored yogurts are low-fat or fat-free, which makes things worse, not better. Fat helps your body absorb nutrients and keeps you full longer. Without it, you're hungry again within an hour and likely reaching for another snack. If you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, you have to see through the healthy halo these products wear. Yogurt can absolutely be healthy, but only if you choose the right kind. Skip the fruity labels and cartoon packaging, because when it comes to flavored yogurts like Yoplait Original Strawberry, you're basically eating a sugar-laced dessert in a spoonable cup pretending to be a health food. 2. Processed cheese slices like Kraft Singles. Let's get one thing straight. Kraft Singles are not real cheese. Sure, they melt beautifully on a burger or grilled sandwich, but that smooth, stretchy texture comes from processing, not purity. In fact, Kraft Singles legally can't even be called cheese. If you look closely at the packaging, it says pasteurized prepared cheese product. That's because it doesn't meet the FDA's definition of real cheese. Here's what's really inside: a blend of milk protein concentrate, whey, emulsifiers, and artificial coloring agents like annatto or yellow number 5. These ingredients are combined under heat and pressure to create that perfect uniform slice that never spoils, never molds, and never quite melts like the real thing. It's engineered for convenience and consistency, not nutrition. Nutritionally, these slices are loaded with sodium and preservatives. Just one slice can pack over 250 milligrams of sodium, and who eats just one? Stack 2 or 3 on a sandwich and you're already consuming nearly half your daily recommended sodium intake before adding the rest of your meal. High sodium intake can contribute to high blood pressure, bloating, and increased risk of heart disease over time. The worst part is the illusion of health. Because it's marketed as made with real milk, people assume they're getting calcium and protein like they would from actual cheese. But that's misleading. The processing strips away much of the natural nutrients, replacing them with stabilizers and additives to extend shelf life. What you're really eating is a lab-built imitation that's far removed from traditional dairy. If you've ever wondered why real cheese goes bad, but Kraft Singles seem immortal, that's your answer. Real food spoils. Artificial food doesn't. So next time you reach for that shiny orange slice to top your sandwich, remember, you're not choosing cheese, you're choosing chemicals disguised as cheese. Your taste buds might thank you in the moment, but your body definitely won't in the long run. 3. Whipped toppings like Cool Whip. Whipped toppings might look light, fluffy, and harmless, the perfect sweet finish to your dessert. But the truth is, many of these products are far from real cream. Take Cool Whip, for example, one of the most popular brands in America. Despite its creamy appearance, it's not even made from real dairy cream. Instead, It's a chemical cocktail of hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors, and stabilizers that give it that smooth, airy texture. The main issue here is hydrogenated oils, which are a major source of trans fats. Even though labels might say 0 grams trans fat, small amounts can still exist, and over time, those small amounts add up. Trans fats have been directly linked to heart disease, high cholesterol, and inflammation in the body. When you pair that with high fructose corn syrup, a sugar substitute that spikes your blood sugar levels and contributes to weight gain, you're left with a product that's more like sweetened oil foam than real food. Another hidden danger in whipped toppings is the artificial flavorings and emulsifiers. These chemicals are used to mimic the taste of real cream and help stabilize the product so it can sit in your freezer for months without changing texture. But many of these additives have been associated with digestive discomfort, bloating, and even allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. On top of that, many people don't realize how calorie-dense and nutrient-poor these toppings are. A few spoonfuls might seem harmless, but when you factor in the sugars, unhealthy fats, and additives, it's easy to see why dietitians consider them one of the worst fake dairy products on store shelves. So, what's the alternative? If you love that fluffy sweetness, try making your own homemade whipped cream with heavy organic cream and a touch of honey or maple syrup. You'll skip the chemicals and enjoy real flavor. Plus, you'll get healthy fats that actually benefit your body instead of harming it. In short, products like Cool Whip might look light and innocent, but under that creamy texture hides a mix of fake ingredients that can weigh heavily on your health. When it comes to whipped toppings, the closer you stay to real cream, the better off you'll be. 4. Flavored milk. When we think of milk, we often picture a wholesome drink packed with calcium and nutrients. But flavored milk is a completely different story. Beneath its creamy texture and kid-friendly sweetness lies a surprising reality. It's more like a dessert in disguise than a healthy beverage. Chocolate milk, strawberry milk, or those brightly colored fun milk drinks marketed to kids are loaded with sugar, artificial flavors, and synthetic colorings that turn something naturally nutritious into a sugar bomb. Take a standard 8-ounce serving of chocolate milk. It can pack as much as 24 grams of sugar, nearly the same as a can of soda. That's about 6 teaspoons of sugar in what's supposed to be a healthy drink. And the danger doesn't stop there. Many commercial flavored milk brands contain high fructose corn syrup, a cheap sweetener linked to fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and obesity. On top of that, manufacturers often add carrageenan, a thickening agent derived from seaweed that's been connected to digestive inflammation and bloating in some studies. Artificial colors like red number 40 and caramel color are also common, both of which have been controversial for their potential links to hyperactivity and even carcinogenic contaminants when consumed in large amounts. Some chocolate milk brands don't even use real cocoa, just flavoring chemicals that mimic it. What's even more concerning is how flavored milk is aggressively marketed to children in schools. Parents often see it as a way to get kids to drink more milk, but the long-term cost is high. Spikes in blood sugar, poor dental health, and increased risk of childhood obesity. And adults aren't off the hook either. Regular consumption contributes to insulin spikes and cravings that make it harder to maintain a balanced diet. If you crave chocolate milk, don't worry, you can still enjoy it, but do it right. Opt for unsweetened milk, cow, oat, or almond, and add a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder with a touch of natural honey or maple syrup for sweetness. That way, you control the sugar and skip all the unnecessary chemicals. At the end of the day, flavored milk might look like a nutritious treat, but it's really a cleverly marketed sugar trap. The next time you reach for that pink or brown bottle, remember, the simpler your milk, the better. 5. Coffee creamers. For millions of people, coffee is the morning ritual that sets the tone for the day. But here's the catch. While your coffee might be pure and energizing, that splash of store-bought coffee creamer could quietly be one of the worst dairy-based products you're consuming. Most commercial creamers, especially those labeled non-dairy, are anything but natural. They're often loaded with hydrogenated oils, corn syrup solids, and artificial flavors designed to mimic the taste of cream while cutting costs. These hydrogenated oils are trans fats, the very same kind that scientists have linked to heart disease, inflammation, and high cholesterol. Even when the label says 0 grams trans fat, it can still legally contain up to 0.5 grams per serving, and that adds up fast when you drink coffee daily. Another sneaky ingredient is sodium caseinate, a milk-derived protein used as a thickener. Ironically, it means that most non-dairy creamers actually contain dairy derivatives, just processed beyond recognition. Then there's dipotassium phosphate, an acidity regulator, and mono and diglycerides, which are industrial emulsifiers that give creamers that silky texture but do nothing good for your body. And let's talk about the flavored varieties: hazelnut, caramel macchiato, French vanilla. These often include artificial sweeteners like sucralose or acesulfame potassium, which can alter gut bacteria and increase cravings for more sugar. Even the sugar-free versions aren't off the hook. In fact, studies have shown that they can still spike insulin levels and disrupt metabolism. If you're using liquid creamers, you might also be getting a dose of titanium dioxide, a whitening agent found in paint and sunscreen. Yes, you read that right. It's been banned in the European Union for use in food due to safety concerns, yet it's still used in several US creamer brands. Powdered creamers are no better. They're shelf-stable for years. And that alone should raise a red flag. That long shelf life is achieved through heavy processing, preservatives, and anti-caking agents that your body doesn't need. So, what's the healthier alternative? Ditch the chemical cocktail and use real half and half, organic whole milk, or plant-based milk like almond, oat, or coconut. Even better, try making your own creamer at home using unsweetened milk and a dash of natural vanilla or cinnamon. The truth is simple: your morning cup of coffee deserves better than a lab-made concoction. If you wouldn't pour those chemicals straight into your drink, why let them sneak in disguised as creamer? 6. Low-fat or fat-free yogurt. It sounds healthy, right? Low-fat or fat-free yogurt, the kind you grab thinking you're making a smart choice for breakfast or a quick snack. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of these so-called healthy yogurts are actually desserts disguised as health food. When food manufacturers remove the fat from yogurt, they also remove much of its natural flavor and creaminess. To compensate, they pump it full of sugar, artificial sweeteners, and synthetic flavors to make it taste good again. Some popular low-fat yogurts pack up to 25 grams of sugar per serving. That's the same as a small candy bar. And because there's no fat to slow digestion, that sugar hits your bloodstream fast, spiking your insulin levels and leaving you hungrier just a couple of hours later. But that's not even the worst part. Many brands use high-fructose corn syrup or aspartame as sweeteners, both of which have been linked to metabolic issues, increased cravings, and gut imbalance. Artificial fruit flavors and colors like red number 40 or blue number 1 are also commonly used. And those aren't real fruit, just chemicals meant to trick your senses. The low-fat label is one of the food industry's most misleading tricks. Fat isn't the enemy. It's an essential nutrient that helps your body absorb vitamins like A, D, E, and K. When you strip yogurt of its natural fat, you lose those benefits and end up consuming something that's chemically altered and nutritionally hollow. Some fat-free yogurts are even thickened using gelatin, modified cornstarch, or pectin to mimic the texture of full-fat yogurt. These additives make the product look appealing, but offer zero nutritional value. And because most commercial yogurts are pasteurized, they often lose their probiotic cultures, meaning you're not even getting the gut health benefits you think you are. So what should you eat instead? Go for plain, full-fat Greek yogurt or organic whole milk yogurt. These have real nutrients, natural probiotics, and healthy fats that keep you satisfied. You can always sweeten them yourself with fresh fruit, honey, or a touch of pure maple syrup. A far cry from the processed sugar bombs found in low-fat varieties. 7. Pre-shredded cheese. It might seem harmless. That convenient bag of pre-shredded cheese sitting in your fridge, ready to sprinkle on pasta or melt over nachos. But here's the reality. Pre-shredded cheese is one of those foods that looks natural, but is far from it. In fact, it's often one of the most chemically tampered forms of dairy you can buy. When cheese is freshly shredded from a block, it's pure and simple. But when companies pre-shred it for mass production, they have to keep those little pieces from clumping together or molding. To do that, they coat the cheese in anti-caking agents like cellulose powder, which is literally wood pulp. Yep, you're sprinkling traces of sawdust on your food. It's technically safe in small amounts, but definitely not something nature intended for dinner. Many brands also use potato starch or calcium sulfate to absorb moisture, extending the product's shelf life. That might sound fine until you realize these additives block the cheese from melting properly. That weird rubbery texture when you melt shredded cheese? That's the anti-caking chemicals doing their job. Then there's the issue of preservatives like natamycin, a mold inhibitor used to stop spoilage. While it's FDA approved, it's another synthetic chemical added to something that should just be milk, salt, and enzymes. Over time, eating highly processed foods like this adds up. potentially contributing to gut imbalance and inflammation. And if you think you're safe with low moisture or Mexican blend cheeses, think again. Most of those are still heavily processed, containing stabilizers, artificial colors, and emulsifiers that change the cheese's natural makeup. It's not real dairy anymore. It's an engineered version made for shelf life and convenience, not nutrition. What's worse is how these shredded cheeses lose flavor and freshness compared to block cheese. The added coatings dull the taste and prevent proper melting, meaning you end up using more cheese just to get the same satisfaction, which means more calories, more sodium, and more additives. So what's the smarter move? Always buy a block of real cheese, cheddar, mozzarella, or Parmesan, and shred it yourself. It takes less than a minute and gives you pure, uncoated, full-flavored cheese without the junk. You'll instantly notice the difference in how it melts and tastes. Convenience might save you a few seconds, but at the cost of eating chemicals your body doesn't need. With pre-shredded cheese, what looks like a time saver is really a trap for unnecessary additives and fake ingredients. Now that we've unmasked some of the worst dairy offenders, it's time to turn the page. Let's take a look at a few healthy, real, and genuinely nourishing dairy options that can still satisfy your cravings without wrecking your body from the inside out. 1. Greek yogurt. Unsweetened, full fat. If you love creamy textures but want to avoid the artificial junk, plain Greek yogurt is a powerful alternative that deserves a place in your daily routine. Unlike those sugar-packed flavored yogurts, authentic Greek yogurt is rich, tangy, and loaded with nutrients your body actually craves. Let's start with the basics. Protein. A single serving of Greek yogurt contains nearly twice the protein of regular yogurt. That means it helps keep you full longer, supports muscle recovery, and even balances your blood sugar levels. The live probiotics it contains are another major win. They help strengthen gut health, improve digestion, and support a strong immune system. And here's what makes it stand out. Greek yogurt is made through a straining process that removes most of the whey, resulting in a thicker, creamier texture with less sugar and carbs. It's real food. No stabilizers, no artificial colors, and no sneaky chemical thickeners. The key, however, is choosing the right kind. Go for unsweetened, full-fat versions, preferably from grass-fed cows. Why full-fat? Because the healthy fats in real dairy actually help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, and E. Low-fat versions often compensate by adding sugar or artificial flavors to improve the taste, which defeats the purpose entirely. You can enjoy Greek yogurt in countless ways. Top it with fresh fruits, drizzle some raw honey, or blend it into smoothies for a natural protein boost. You can even use it as a substitute for sour cream or mayonnaise in recipes, making your meals healthier without sacrificing flavor. Another underrated benefit: calcium and B12 content. These are essential for strong bones, energy production, and maintaining a healthy nervous system. Plus, if you choose organic or grass-fed yogurt, you'll also get omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, both known to reduce inflammation and improve heart health. So, if you've been relying on sugary flavored yogurts or low-fat dairy gimmicks, it's time to make the switch. Greek yogurt isn't just a snack, it's a smart, nutrient-dense upgrade that your body will thank you for every single day. 2. Grass-fed butter. Yes, you read that right. Butter can actually be healthy when it's the right kind. For decades, butter was unfairly demonized, labeled as a heart-clogging food. But here's the truth: not all butter is created equal. There's a huge difference between cheap, processed butter made from grain-fed cows and pure grass-fed butter that comes from cows grazing on natural pastures. Grass-fed butter is packed with real nutrition that your body recognizes and knows how to use. It's loaded with fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, too, all crucial for strong bones, glowing skin, hormone balance, and cardiovascular health. These nutrients work together to support everything from your immune system to your brain. Vitamin K2 in particular helps direct calcium into your bones instead of your arteries, reducing the risk of calcification and heart disease. One of the biggest benefits of grass-fed butter lies in its fat composition. It contains higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, both of which are known to reduce inflammation, support fat metabolism, and promote muscle growth. CLA even has mild anti-cancer properties according to several studies. In contrast, conventional butter from grain-fed cows often contains higher omega-6 fats and pesticide residues, since those cows are usually fed GMO, corn, and soy. That imbalance in fatty acids can trigger inflammation, which is one of the root causes of chronic diseases. Another win for grass-fed butter? Its richer flavor and golden color. That deeper yellow comes from higher levels of beta-carotene, the same antioxidant found in carrots and sweet potatoes. It's a visual sign of real nutrition, something you'll never find in the pale, industrially processed versions. You can use grass-fed butter in so many ways. Spread it on whole grain toast, melt it over vegetables, or cook your eggs in it for a satisfying, nutrient-rich breakfast. It's stable under heat and adds incredible flavor without needing to rely on synthetic oils or margarine. And let's be clear, the problem was never butter itself. It was the highly processed, cheap substitute spice, like margarine and hydrogenated spreads, that caused health problems. Grass-fed butter, in moderation, fits perfectly into a clean and balanced diet. So, if you've been avoiding butter out of fear, it's time to bring it back. But only the real kind. Your body, your taste buds, and even your heart will thank you. And there you have it. The truth about dairy most people never hear. While many of these products have been marketed as healthy for decades, the reality is that most are filled with hormones, artificial flavors, and unhealthy fats that slowly harm your body over time. Stay informed and make smarter choices. Subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications for more honest food breakdowns just like this one.